What's up, Casper?
What's good, bro? What's going on?
Not much, dude. I just got back in from was enjoying the sun.
Nice,
So nice.
fuck yeah.
The
You gotta get that vitamin D. Yeah, I was actually just sitting here looking at Monero. I like, honestly, it seems like privacy coins are pretty strong lately. So once I see strength in a sector like that, I'm gonna kind of look around at the bigger players in that sector. And looking at Monero, I mean, just the perp charts. I mean, we've got our weekly low and high, and it's pretty crazy because we have a huge range here. It's literally COVID lows to all-time high. We still really haven't broken bullish structure. Now, even if you wanted to draw it here, you could pull this line up and draw it here if you wanted. That's really being aggressive with it. I mean, you could say that's a pullback. Now, regardless, yeah, we got a wick down below, but if we don't get a closure on these higher time frames, also for uh, Cody and on YouTube. I'll go on Ethereum next, but I do want to go over XMR right now. And what's up, MILF? Full port shorts. Sand. I'm actually in sand longs right now at Chica. I'll go over that as well. So on Monero on the weekly, we see this weekly high and low. We're definitely in a discount. If you're looking at that perspective. Now, when we look down here, these equal lows just got swept, and we came into this zone. All the lows really got swept. So a lot of liquidity was swept, and then we have this day or weekly zone of demand. You could even refine it to just this candle, or even just this inside bar, which would mean it's probably a range on a 4-hour or a daily. So with that being said, we can say, okay, prices came back into demand on the weekly, really high time frame. So let's just go from the top down. We'll go to the daily. So again, we're noticing all these lows being swept, a lot of sell side liquidity removed from the marketplace, which could lead us to targeting the buy side, being the highs. Whether that's up here, maybe even up here. There's a lot of equal highs above. So now I've came to the daily chart. We can see that we had a daily internal change of character, right? We were in a downtrend on the daily, and when we're talking about internal, we're just talking candle to candle as far as, did this candle make a new low? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Then we had a new low here. Why? Because this candle broke the previous candle's high. And then right here, we had that break of structure. on not a break of internal structure. So on the daily, if you're looking at a break of internal structure, a lot of times it's going to be break of swing structure in the 4 hour, maybe the 1 hour, 15 minute. And here, when I'm looking at this, I see that would give me reason to look for longs. Now that we're seeing this, so we have a break of structure closure on the 4 hour. We came up into this supply, so we did see our normal retracement. We're not really in a discount of this whole daily range here, but I'm not necessarily going to be too much of a stickler on that. I'm not going to say this is the bottom, but if we look, we came down to this flip zone. So why is it a flip zone? Because it sponsored the break of supply. We had supply over here that sent us down on that. You can definitely see the sell orders came into the market here, and this demand overpowered this supply. So that being said, we see the price came back down to this 4 hour flip zone. We'll go to the 15 minute. Now we haven't got what I'm looking for exactly for confirmation here. You could have taken longs down through here. Depends on how you trade. If I'm gonna get like swings, I have an alert set for up here. You can't see it because I made it white, but so it doesn't clutter my screen. But if we can get above this swing high on the 15 minute, I'll definitely be looking for some pretty heavy longs on Monero. Now, if you want to be more aggressive, you could have maybe played it down here. You could have said, okay, well, there's two ways you could have played it. You could have said, as soon as we get this internal change of character in this flip zone, and you can do this to any POI, but flip zones are pretty strong. Usually, if you draw them correctly, a lot of people trip up drawing them, but if you get it right, you can play, this internal 1 minute structure shift. So if you come here, we had this high right here. We made a new low. We started to change character. I think it was right here because we had this high right here, really, and we broke above it. So we made a higher high. Now that's probably really minuscule. Somebody said, why can't they hear me in live stream? I don't know. I'm pretty sure everybody else can, right? Somebody drop me something in crypto chat. Somebody just unmute their mic and let me know that you can hear me.
Yeah, we can all hear you.
Okay,
My
cool.
computer's fucked up, but I can hear you on my phone.
Okay, cool. Is that Crates that said that? I'm not looking.
Oh, no, it's not.
No, Crates messaged me and he said he couldn't hear me. Okay, cool. Thanks, Mel. So here we had this first internal break to the upside when we've been seeing nothing but breaks to the downside. So we had that first one. You could have, maybe you entered there, stops under here. You can see that worked. Or if you wanted to be a little bit more conservative, you could have been here. And then regardless, this demand zone stops under this candle. I would probably still put them under here personally, but this is just for more confirmation. So you can see that whenever we're in a very bullish zone, if you draw these flip zones correctly, we see a very nice reaction to these. You could have even played the third one right there. A very nice entry. Now, I wasn't really watching the charts when this happened. Been out of the office all day today. But one thing I will say is we never really came back down and filled this demand. The most orders came in right around here. So, if we want to see healthy structure, see how we have right here. And this is how this can translate to all time frames. We have, push up, mitigation. We come back into this demand. Push up, mitigation. That's what you want to see. So whenever you do this, people think they get left behind and they want to play these higher up order blocks, right? And you see what happens. They get in, really didn't even get any highs or any rational profit targets. Maybe you're a scalper and you could have played that, I guess, trimmed here, super tight stop. Not really my style, but we're leaving a lot of liquidity down here. Whether it's fair value gaps on the 15-minute, there's another fair value gap here. We did come and fill some of it, but not all the way. Usually these inefficiencies, especially in these kind of zones, get satisfied all the way. So we can say that there's also liquidity under this low. Could be inducement, like inducing early longs. Even people that understand smart money, they come in here, oh fuck, dude, I'm getting in. And there was an entry there maybe because you came into a POI. Let's see, go to 1 minute. Same shit. All right, bam, break. That break right there. came down, had that break right there. Could have played it. Definitely could have been profitable if you took profits quick enough. You took profits right here. Could have been a nice scalp. So when you're coming into these POIs, you can take these trades. You can just see this would have been a nice trade, especially if you had a very tight stop. You could have even used, really, this is where, if you're doing it right, you should be able to use this. Maybe take off like a couple pips, just give you a little bit of room. You could have targeted this up here. Very nice trade if you took it like that. In hindsight, it's pretty easy, but if you take this, that'd be very, very profitable. 20% of your port in about an hour. But if we're looking for these more swing entries, I think we could look over in this zone. Now, these would still be scalps, and we're still kind of playing counter trend in a way. I'm just gonna alarm here, a return to origin or RTO, and you're coming back to that flip zone. So now you're gonna get, maybe a better entry down here if we can. We'll just wait and see. Also fill this fair value gap. You could, if you wanted, set limits here. You could also wait till we come down in this zone, and then you get this same stuff. This is internal, change the character. Because overall, Monero, in my opinion, is bullish on the high time frames. You're just pulling back. Now you probably will pull back farther than this, if I had to guess, because you're really nowhere near a discount. But that is not going to count us out for maybe taking some intraday longs or just being able to find nice bounces. Because, for instance, if we if we come up, say we form some equal highs up here, like up in this area, which we definitely did already. So this could be setting up more. I'm actually going to mark that for later. We could sweep that before, we'll see. But if you come down here, you'd have a very clear target because this high failed to make a new low. Now, you might come back up into supply somewhere here and just get shot down, but it's okay. You can still get a trade opportunity from that. So that was Monero. I think the next one somebody wanted to look at was ETH. Oh, Ethereum. Tell you what, I'll actually just trash my Ethereum chart and we'll just do it together again. So when we're looking at Ethereum here, well, let's do this is the one thing, the Ethereum's perp chart is fucked up because this one wick on May 19th. I remember that day. That was, or 17th,
Yes.
sorry. So that wick fucks it up. And it's kind of like, is that Flo? What's up, Flo?
What's up, brother?
How you doing?
Good. How you been?
Good, bro. Got the little
About
one
to
with
do
me.
some little
So.
ETH analysis, eh?
Yeah. So you probably have the same stuff, I had to guess. We could say, even looking more in depth, we probably have demand in this wick. Well, not
I believe
probably.
that was. Hold on, let
And
me.
then we have these lows right here, these weekly equal lows. So if you ask me, I want these to get cleared. It's just so much liquidity sitting there. You've probably got demand. Let's go on a daily. Yeah, you've got daily demand under these lows. So this is going to make this a something I would have more confidence in this POI.
Yeah.
Personally,
I think I was looking at 1377.
that would be even better.
Yeah.
This somewhere in this wick, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Right
There's
here.
a
Right here.
That's like the very bottom. It started run to our first all-time highs and then sponsored the higher low again. Probably is good.
Yeah, like right here. Yeah, it's 13. This one's 1379 is what I have, so it's probably the same area.
Yes. And there's liquidity resting just above it as well.
Yeah, all these lows. Yep. Oh yeah, that'd be beautiful.
Yeah.
I'd still play it. Like personally, I would still play it at this level. Like bounces, I wouldn't think it's just like Valhalla entries at this like what is it, right under 1700. But
yeah, I had.
Mark this weekly low. We're about to probably clear this weekly high.
What's up, Casper?
What's up, bro? How you doing? Did you hit London?
I got wrecked in that one. Only once though, so
It happens. Just learn from it.
got stopped out.
So you can see here with the ETH too. I mean, this is a good example. Like, you know, all the way up from here. Once we started to just even you know, on the weekly, and you start to see these internal change of characters, you can anticipate an immense pullback. Now, really, up until this point, we would have anticipated for this demand to hold, because theoretically on the weekly, you know, I guess you'd say we're in a weekly bullish market because we're still made a higher high, but we have so much liquidity down below that I would be more comfortable longing below these levels. Now we'll see bounces. We've already seen bounces at these, you know, demand zones and these wicks. There's going to be a lot of demand on lower time frames, whether it's 4 hour, 15-minute. You know, just look at wicks on higher time frames like demand zones, but you need to refine them. Now, if we look on the daily, I don't really see, like, okay, let's just say we'll draw demand. We can draw this last candle. We'll just draw the whole candle. So pull this up, flow.
That's what I had.
Somebody said long XMR. I was just looking to find something earlier. That's like small as fuck. Hold on, open it on my screen. So I have like my screen split for StreamYard and Playbit. Original accumulate. Oh yeah, so this is gonna be like where we really took off from. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like.
I mean, I'm gonna play structure either way.
Right.
But that's where I'm looking.
Yeah.
As far as bullish continuation.
And you could even see that weekly wick down to that, and not even. Well, actually, I don't know. That's pretty far away. I mean, you never know. But
yeah. You really could, though. I mean, if all these buy stops, you know, or all these sell stops turn into buy stops, when we come through, we can see that flash wick down to like 13, 14.
I mean, look right here. Well, not on this one. Perp charts, we did see that last year.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
But
I'm gonna do some.
Oh, I'm just now seeing the the comments on YouTube. But yeah, like, so here we're on the daily. You know, we did push down into this zone pretty rapidly, and we are forming an inside. Well, this is really way too early to tell. We just opened this candle. But hold on, somebody's echoing. Sorry, Sterling. Let me know if you want to be unmuted. But now we came into this daily demand here. We haven't really seen much on the daily chart and any kind of you know, signaling any kind of reversal, in my opinion. I mean, that could change, but you know, we did move down into it pretty abruptly, which is what I look for. But just with these weekly targets here, you got to remember, always look at your high time frames. Always be aware of where these really obvious areas of sell stops are, because you know, 9 times out of 10 that's going to get taken. Whether it gets taken, you know, after you get like a little baby pump where you could catch some, you know, scalps and stuff, you know, you can definitely make money off of it. Like you look right here, you know, there were moves to be had here. Depending on your style, you could have caught something here, maybe could have caught something here, maybe. But the way I look at it, none of these, the way I target, yeah, I wouldn't even really be super interested in them, because you know that the moves aren't really that much, and you're trading counter trend and right above these weekly targets. So you know, we could see some kind of bounce here. Let's look in the 4 hour. No change of character in the 4 hour. On the 15-minute, I mean, you need a lot to. I mean,
yeah, you're bear everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Like you need above this, and most likely what's going to happen if you get above this, these are just weekly, or not weekly, I'm sorry, equal highs. You're just going to see a liquidity grab. I mean,
yep.
You know, if we come down under this weekly low, you know, that would maybe, so if you see something like, okay, we make a new low, right? So then you have between this low and that new low, whatever high you have there, it's much tighter structure, right? You're starting to at least form some kind of possibility of, you know, retracement back up that actually clears that high. And at this point, I would want, you know, 2 breaks of structure in the 15-minute before I would really be looking to play Ethereum here.
Hourly and then 15 for me.
Right. Yeah, and it's just like whatever you use. Like some people use just like day, like 4 hour. I mean, it's all just depends on your strategy. But with crypto, it's like you have to use more than just those high time frames.
Yeah,
You'll just get left in the dirt.
you need
Really
that
anything.
confirmation. Especially if you're swinging.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happens a lot of the times, especially with these new concepts coming out and everybody learning them. Trying to enter the 1 minute ticket to the 4 hour supply.
Yeah, it's like
You
really
need a
if
lot more for that.
you're gonna need like if you want to get the 1 minute entry for a swing, you're gonna need double confirmation on, at least one high time frame, one medium time frame, and then your lower time frame. And even then with crypto, like with Forex, I've seen like you can hit those more often, but crypto, you gotta
ETH
really
and
be
BTC.
picky. Yeah, you gotta be so picky, man, because for instance, like some of these alts, like you'll have the right TA, you'll just get wicked out. It's just just happens. But here with ETH, yeah, I would look for push down below these lows, probably into this demand, and then revisit it. That's how I would look at it. I don't know. I'm looking at the 1 minute, but yeah, that's really it for me with ETH. Because at where you stand right now, you'd have to break above 1822 and get a 15-minute closure for me to say the 15-minute is even beginning to shift bullish. So, yeah, with ETH, maybe scalps, but somebody said sand, I think was the other one, because I'm actually in sand longs. I took some earlier, but it's been kind of choppy. I actually drew this harmonic. I didn't even notice this when I took it, but there's like a perfect bullish bat on the 15-minute, which I haven't really been playing him lately, but I've noticed a lot of times these occur when you're coming down into POIs, like sharks and bats. But I took a little bit off of this fair value gap here. Thankfully, I almost didn't, and I went to sleep last night, and I was like, I'm not gonna set that TP. I'll just keep it up here. But it's really not looking like super hot in my opinion. I took more of a risk entry with this because if we look, let's go like the 4 hour. So here we have I can't remember what this inducement was from. I think it was on a different time frame. We're pretty heavy in discount. I mean, we are bearish, so it is a counter trend trade. So you don't really. I'm on the daily. That's why. So you don't really want to try to take it to the moon. But when I see here initially, we had the start of the pullback here. We had this pretty clean change of internal structure on the 4 hour, forming some equal highs above. We came back down and we mitigated orders within this area, filled up all this liquidity within this fair value gap. Now we've started to see internal structure moving to the upside, except for retracements back down at a 4 hour point of interest. Then we did the same thing. Nice reaction here. And you see this displacement. This is like an ICT setup. We came down under old lows, push up, fair value gap. You can definitely see the displacement in the market there. And we cleared.
Out with the old and with the new.
Say what? Oh, out with the old and with the new.
Yeah, it's just the transfer, right? You take out old demand, right, on your old order block that was just mitigated, introduce new demand, and then continue from that.
Exactly. And then you look here, we had a nice reaction here off this POI because we had the second two change of character, whether however you mapped it. I just use a candle close here, candle close right there. And then you see price come up. Early longs try to take this demand. And this is what I was talking about before with XMR. Everybody's like, oh, fuck, we missed it. We got to take this demand. And look what happened. You took it and you got really happy. And then you got confused and you said this shit doesn't work. When in reality, you're just not allowing the market to return to where it needs to. Because, yeah, you could look at it like, I guess you could say there's demand here because it pushed us up. But, you want to look at these very clear levels where large money came into the marketplace. So, and usually it's almost always the bottom of your swing or at the top if you're bearish. But here we came back down to this POI. Made a nice move to the upside. Created some demand there. And then once price came in here, there's opportunities. You could have just taken a confirmation entry, whatever. But I like sand on the higher time frames. I also like that we're leaving liquidity to the upside. And then we have this weak high here on the 15-minute. Now, anything can change at any time. The market can bring it down. It seems like it's wanting to hold above this demand, but we'll see how that one plays out. But overall, I like sand more than a lot of other charts, but everything is pretty bare still. So you got to keep that in mind. GMT.
What did you say? What did you say, Flo? Out with the old, in with the new.
Yes. So this was a what I posted about in MPix talking about the introduction of demand and supply. So whenever we see those breaks between or underneath those lows, right? A lot of the times you'll get in limits, be stopped out, and then it moves your way an hour or two later, and you're like, well, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Everything was right. But when it comes back down into your POI, a lot of the times you see that liquidity raid, and what that does is that takes out those old longs, right, that were in stops that got in the first pump, or people who got in at the top, right, all that liquidity that they built and they place underneath that first low because they're like, this is an OB, this is a strong demand zone, and it can't go past this. It goes past that, they now short, and then what happens after that, right, goes. So what this
Exactly.
does is it takes out the old liquidity, right? It takes out your old longs, takes out all of that, opens up new liquidity into the market. So now algorithms can now enter larger positions or add to their positions. So in
Okay.
accumulation, you'll see the constant liquidation rate of longs, right? Before that final move. As a little example.
Well put. GMT is interesting. I mean, I probably wouldn't catch myself trading this too much, to be honest. Just classic Ponzi. But I mean, obviously, you left inefficiencies in the way down due to the other. This is before that. This is whenever the guy got arrested or whatever for it being a Ponzi. But I'm sure that there was insiders had I'm sure had worries of this, this and that. I feel like on the this was from the weekly, just internal change of character. You could have said that was your shift to a bearish market on the daily and the weekly. Coming to the 4 hour, you are in daily demand, but I mean, you've already tapped into it. Doesn't really, you really kind of cleared this wick here, in my opinion. I mean, with these alts, it's weird, but in my opinion, I wouldn't want to see that, even if it is just a wick, because the supply is overtaking demand, in my opinion. You could look like, I mean, yes, you got your break of structure here, but I don't know if I would be longing this one. It's like everybody wants to long like these like some things like you buy the dip on, and some things, in my opinion, you don't. This is not really the best price action here. I mean, if you must, what I would most likely see happening here is this is going to end up just redistribution. You're going to see a push up. People are going to say, "Oh, there's our daily, or not our daily, our second confirmation." But in reality, your just price is just drawing to this liquidity up here, and you're not. And this isn't a healthy move to the upside because you're leaving unmitigated demand down below. You can see how it plays out, but I mean, let's see right here. Got that up there as well. I don't really see. And you could range within this and then see one of these AMD. And this is just so sloppy, though, for me to want to even anticipate anything like that. High low time frame supply in this inside bar. Just see what's up over here. Oh, fuck. What did I just do? I know how I did that with my mouse. Bro, for any of you guys who have like a gaming mouse, like I'm telling you right now, fucking hotkey. If you're using TradingView, you can hotkey Shift or Control. Like for those of you who use, you're anchoring your tools or you're trying to have straight trend lines, it makes it much easier than having to hit your keyboard. Yeah, I
Can
mean,
you
here
hotkey your templates too?
that I don't think so. I don't know how you would. Maybe you can.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, it's already in click anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I wouldn't know how. Yeah, I mean, with GMT, you can spend time on it, but if you want my opinion or advice, I wouldn't really pay it much mind. Everybody, it's like Luna after it died, and GMT is dying. It's like we've got hundreds of coins to trade. This is probably not where I'd be placing my attention. But I mean, I guess general overview, you're bearish as fuck on the high time frames. You are in demand, so you could see some form of a relief, but no real signs of that yet. So if if you absolutely must look for longs, I would wait for healthy structure to form. We come down and mitigate this zone, some demand down in here. You could say these candles right here. I would look at this one specifically because this is really the end of the sell side being offered in the local range. And then we could look, for another double 15-minute confirmation. And even then it's risky. So that's kind of how I would look at it. Now, then I took Dodo and Acro off. Perps. TRX. This is another one I wanted to look at. I've been mapping it out a little bit lately. Seems like more and more it's getting more bearish. This was a daily PO. Let's see. So we look at the weekly. It's interesting because let's go into the perp or not non-perp charts. So really, when you're on the weekly, it's interesting because if you look, it's another one of those that we really never, shifted out of a. Right, so I think I had it was right here is your weekly range. The way I mapped it, you might not consider this a weekly pullback. I mean, I do. May not look that crazy, but 36% drop in a week. It's enough for me to consider it a pullback. So mark it up. You got your weekly high and your weekly low. So just so you can understand what what major range you're playing within. And you could also look at these highs over here, both of this one specifically, as a weak high. And the reason for that, as of now, is we haven't created a new low. We haven't broken down from this. So you've got this weak high up here above. So you could, look for a potential target up there that we could, even if we are going to shift bearish, you'd probably come up into this supply on the weekly, sweep out that liquidity, and then push the downside. But if we look on the weekly, you've got a double internal change of character. You've got that double internal change of character there, which on the daily is going to look like daily breaks of structure. We've got two of them. So then you come back down in here. What demand sponsored that second was the flip zone. So you've got a daily flip zone there. Now we could look for this high to be targeted as well. That's going to be our weak high. It did not create a new low. So we'll come down in the 4 hour. We could be seeing a pullback here. It's not really confirmed yet. If you come under this low right here, like 0.07579, I would consider that you're probably going to start pulling back and possibly come down and clear out these levels. But I wouldn't bet on that just yet. And kind of here's a daily point of interest. Came in on the 4 hour. Right here, you got the internal first change of character. Is how you can kind of scale into the time frames and get these more inside looks, I guess you would say, before they start happening, and you wait for them on the higher time frames. Yeah, I'll do Bitcoin, Luis. So now we could be looking at, okay, well, we might see, we could say we're going to see a pullback here. So now let's look what these 15-minute or these two breaks of structure look like on the 15-minute. And I'm going to switch to my perps chart now that I did the weekly range, just to kind of give you that overview because I've already plotted this. I came up into that zone, and you had your initial break of structure, the downside, or choke of swing structure. And then you had your second right here. Closures on both of them, so I'm pretty you can be pretty confident that they're not going to be those just kind of fake out liquidity grabs. And it's a shame because I wanted us to come into one of these zones here, and we didn't really tap into either one of them. This is where I was looking to enter some shorts from because if we look here, the first opportunity was up here. I mean, really, if you're super ballsy, the first opportunity was way up here. Then we broke structure the downside. Supply up here that pushed us down, came up, mitigated those orders, came back down. Looks like you had some fractal supply here within this inside bar, mitigated. I'm not going to leave that mark just for lack of clutter. A lot of times I like using these inside bars as my POIs because it just refines it. This is a whole range on the lower time frames. So if we look here, I just didn't really see a nice entry anywhere in here. I mean, I'm sure you could have probably within this wick. That's where the entry seems to have been, but I didn't plot it like that. I wanted us to come back up to this zone, and we still might because if you look, what did this high fail to do? Create a new low. So now that we've got this 15-minute shifting bullish, we could anticipate that that high is going to get targeted. Now, I wouldn't necessarily long up to there because we are shifting to a bearish market on the 4-hour and 15-minute. Well, I wouldn't say the 4-hour. We haven't really broken structure. Now, here, once we come down here, what do we see? Same things. Mark this over here, but we get those two change of character. What was the flip zone? Because we had that initial change, supply pushed us back down to mitigate that first zone. This is why I like those inside bars, because you can see that's the last zone where we really had that push from, so that's where the orders were left behind. So came up here, seeming to be pretty healthy here, but this is a counter trend idea. We've got some liquidity targets above that weak high, and then also we'd be coming back up into a really nice opportunity to short, in my opinion. Now, got to let it play out, let it develop. We don't want to rush anything, but this has definitely been on my radar. Let's go back, see right here on the 1 minute how we reacted here. And you could be just, really retracing, because this is where you see that healthy structure here, in my opinion. Now, we are in the 1 minute, so take it with a grain of salt. But just for the example, we came down into demand, like Flo was saying, new demand was introduced. Bam, came down, new demand was introduced, and came down, and same thing over and over again. We're getting this nice structure, closures above, one after another, coming back down, fulfilling these orders and pushing back up. So, we could, if you wanted to, this is your style, you could look for longs. TRX has been pretty strong lately, but I'm really just gonna wait for the shorts. This would be a nice opportunity. I won't lie to you, but I want to trade with the trend because these shorts are gonna pay. If we can get back up here, this is where I'm really gonna be interested in Tron. But I'm liking this more and more as time goes. It's pretty healthy structure too, unlike most alts where they're really just choppy. But I thought I had an alarm set here. I set an alarm right there. That way I don't get missed, even if I'm just playing this in this inside bar. But this is one of my my favorite setups. It's forming for some nice shorts. But we all got to be patient and just let it develop. Now, what was the other one? So he said Bitcoin and BNX. I have not even heard of BNX. Bitcoin, I haven't refined this. I haven't done this in a couple days. Let's see. See this huge institutional candle. We can see that obviously wasn't. That could have been refined quite a bit. See how that reacted to that zone. Yeah, that's where we really were. You have this 1 minute accumulation here. There is that initial 1 minute break of structure, swing structure. And we obviously had, actually, you could have probably, depending on how you mapped it, you could have really pushed it down here.
That's accumulation right there.
This, I wouldn't really plot it up and chart it, but I'm looking at it like lows being manipulated. You can kind of just eyeball it. I'm not really a huge Wyckoff guy, but
I would call it accumulation.
Yeah, you feel me? Like I'm not like I look.
But
at
it's fractal, so
exactly.
You get your minute accumulations, right? But your minute accumulation is not going to bring you a 15-minute break of structure.
Exactly. It could just bring you up to a mitigation.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Yep.
But you can say the main point to draw from this is say, okay, well, there was pride demand in here, but that doesn't necessarily mean like, okay, I'm longing up to, this weak high up here. You can't really, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So here, came up. This is that same scenario with I can't remember what coin it was. We were just saying early longs came in right here. And they're probably going to get hurt right here. So if we look, you could say, because people that learn to say, oh shit, we had a break of structure. Oh fuck, second break of structure. Actually, that would be cleaner than up here. So you could watch these zones, but the way I look at it, you've got tons of lows right there, and you have unmitigated demand down here. And this is all, you know, on the 1 minute, like Flo was saying. So I wouldn't really, bet the farm on this here. My interest would be in here. If you go in the seconds, I guarantee you could find something nice within this candle. But you have a lot of inducement going on here, and then also equal lows there. I mean, you're coming down, in my opinion. So what you could do here, you could wait till price comes down here, maybe get that internal I wouldn't play limits, I'll tell you that. If anything, if you wanted to scalp something, you could wait till you see something like this. You come down, you have that internal break of structure, and then you could wait for a second one for more confirmation. So, and then also if you look at this, that actually matches up with that demand, that example. So, if you must look at Bitcoin longs, it would be probably closer to this. What is this? 28,319. But this is where the high time frames come in. Those would be scalps. Because if you look on the, so glad I changed my color from. I'm just gonna delete this for right now. And that 15-minute point of interest way down here hasn't even been tapped. But if you look, we got equal lows now here on the 4-hour. The other day we had a lot of buying coming into the market on that death wick, but I mean, you could maybe look at it like a protected low, but I wouldn't. I would look at it like just more liquidity. If we go to let's go to like a 1 hour. I don't really use this time frame, but you'll be able to see a little bit better. All these lows down here, you could even draw it here if you wanted. You could draw it the lowest low if you wanted, but regardless, you've got some. Why is this freaking candle or this? Hold on. Right here, I mean, I guess that low got swept a little bit on perps, like a couple dollars. But if then you look, you want to just pull it over right here. It didn't. So you get those equal lows. You want to stay mindful of the higher time frames. Then you've got this unsatisfied demand down in here. I think this is where your first 15-minute change of character at all, or any low time frame change of character was. Equal lows here. I don't know where this demand was. And then you also have this protected low. Well, not protected low, swing low. It's not protected. The high would be protected, but you have this swing low. But you got to remember, when we're in a 4-hour bear market, you have to assume that since this low failed to produce a new high, that it will get taken. So when you're looking for longs in this market, you can use different logic. Like I know there's people that are looking at this as accumulation. I'm not looking at it as that or against that, but just basic market structure, we can assume that this high is protected and that this low is weak. So we would look to position ourselves short to take this low in a nutshell. Now, does that mean just short it off of every POI and target the lows of the range? Absolutely not. But, you could say we're bearish on most time frames with Bitcoin. I think the 50-minute had one break of structure to the upside if you map it like this, but it's like, over here, it's just not healthy structure. You get that manipulation and then you just get completely obliterated because you're not seeing that healthy market structure. Here you could say here was your change of character if you wanted to, and then oh shit, my girl just got home. I didn't know what the hell that noise was, but you could say here was your change of character if you wanted, and then you're coming back down to mitigate, internal change of character in the 15-minute. I mean, I just see a lot of retail inducement here, but you could look for that level we spoke about earlier. Once we clear all these lows, clear all this, you could maybe catch some scalps off that, but you have to keep in mind that you are trading against the trend and you're close to that high time frame liquidity target. And then ETH, you have to keep in mind ETH. Like, yeah, look what we've done with Bitcoin. We already swept all this liquidity everywhere. ETH hasn't done that. Yeah. What's up? So yeah, so like really with this,
Deposit operator.
Wyckoff in the building.
Oh my God, composite man.
But yeah, so I mean, I just have these marked. I know you guys are like, oh, well, you have buy side marked above. Yeah, I mean, there is there, and I was marking it during different sessions. You could look for that to get taken at some point. I'll leave it here for now. But that's really where I'm at with Bitcoin is it's just not healthy structure. I mean, there's the bull argument, I guess, but it's just, I don't know. I mean, here I will say you could maybe catch some nice because with these setups where you come under those old lows and then you have that displacement. Also, let's see on like a 5-minute. It's really not the gaps I would like. I don't know. You might be able to catch some nice little scalps somewhere up into here, but overall, we're still bearish.
It looks like a lick grab, my boy.
What are you talking about exactly? I see a couple, to be honest. Like this
The
right
little
here.
boner candle right there.
Yeah,
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 it takes out all
yeah.
of the early shorters to the left.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
That's a yeah. So like
Takes them out of their shorts, distributes.
exactly.
Fucking
Mitigated the
max
supply candle
pain.
before the break is structured to the downside before.
Max,
That
Yep.
internal at
pain.
the liquidated upside.
And then starts fucking pushing back down. Big
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
big giant boner candle forces people into longs. Exit
Exactly.
liquidity.
Yeah, I would. If I wouldn't be really like trying to force longs at all at this point, or shorts. I mean, if you position yourself nicely already, then great. But I think there's other opportunities that are better. Honestly, about at this point, the only way to trade Bitcoin is the way you do, JL, is no stop loss.
No stop loss. Yeah, you're
No, you
kinda
can run
right.
stop losses.
You can run stop
No,
losses. It
you
just depends
can.
on your
I know.
entries.
No, I know. I'm joking.
I
But
took a pretty dog shit entry yesterday. I took the value gap with no confirmation. I just diamond handed them because then we came up and tapped the 2-hour supply and then made a distribution pattern.
yeah.
Dude. Oh, Casper, if you don't mind me asking, is there a significance to the white candles? Or is it just for
Inside bars.
Inside bars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you should get the inside bar indicator. It actually slaps. I
There's a
started running it
V2
too.
came out too.
Oh,
Oh,
that's the
really?
one I think I'm using.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just started using it, bro.
The
Shit
one I have
slaps.
is how do I like view which one
Yeah,
it's actually
that one they just
called?
came out with the V2 of that one, Casper.
Is it this one? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
What is it?
That IBS V2.
I'm glad somebody told me about that shit because honestly, it helps me too. Like on an entry.
This is the one. This is the one I use.
Yeah, I'm using that too. Yeah, that shit's fire. Yeah, we got the same fucking candle colors, yo. Holy shit, man.
You have
It's
the
just I
gray
did
and
mine
black.
the opposite. Yeah, my blacks go up.
Who's
though.
it by?
It's like ABC something. ABD dot Mateen. There's other ones you can use, but I just
Flo, what do we even use these for?
what inside bars? Well, it's just fractal order flow. So like an inside bar on a high time frame is a
It's
range.
just a range within a range, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, that and also for internal structure. So like for instance, depends how you map it. The way I map it, like okay, instead of like looking here, like okay, like which of these would be an internal low? Well, for me, this one is the right. That's being aggressive for the actual low. And why? Well, this candle did not make a new high after it. Like this candle didn't. It did not force that candle to push through this high. So to me,
Yeah.
that's not a low because it's just like swing structure. Like a low has to make a high to be a low. So.
Yeah, the prior candle's higher low wasn't breached or nothing. That's why it's an inside bar.
And then also just for I like using them for supply and demand too because, for instance, like here, right here, you could have looked like oh like here's the POI, but like and go back test it every time it's in the inside bar because that's just where the actual order flow happened. You can refine it always to like 15-minute. You know what I mean? That's what I like it for.
I got you.
Could you change your characters with that shit too with the inside bar?
Yeah.
Like a more aggressive thing.
Yeah.
Like I played Zek last night for some scalps. But it just hit one TP. Yeah, it actually would have hit the other one, but you know, hit one TP and break even. You gotta love it. That's alts for you. But if I would have monitored, you could have got more entries. I just wasn't sitting there up late like that. And then London, you know, I kind of anticipated. What's funny is I almost because usually I wouldn't break even after just that because I think it was just like it was only like 3R. But
2:30 a.m. is when I'm interested in that, and then like 5:30 is what I'm
2:30
interested.
a.m.
no real shit though. Really, like
No, I'm giving him where I would look at longs.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Like for
Sorry, when you
here,
said
I like
2:30 a.m., bro. I was like, who the fuck is up at
2:30,
that
right?
time
I would see that.
trading?
I would see that first as an internal break of structure, and then it caused more break of structures, right? That second after the first, I guess I would call that first one a liquidity raid, the one that
Yeah.
you longed.
yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
well, this was a 1 minute. Like I didn't even do the 15-minute. It was just like a little scalp. So it was just like
Ugh.
as soon as we came into it,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just like a
No,
little
it was a
scalp.
solid play.
But the one thing I literally was here, like I was like probably like it was like right around midnight. It was after this TP, and I was in bed on my iPad, and I was like, well, I was like, nah, I wouldn't set stops to break even. Like it's not even hit as far as you'd want. Then I was like, all right, you're tripping. I like literally got out of bed, got on my iPad, and set stops to break even. I
Had
was like,
to.
yeah, and I'm glad that this happened because it's like usually if this happens right here, you won't get fucked with those market break even stops. But
Right.
actually, I moved that. But yeah, so and it was a nice little play because with Zach and also the privacy coins right now are really strong. So that was why I also liked it. If you go back on like the 4-hour, yeah, it just came into this 4-hour demand, 15-minute. Where was the 15-minute? 15-minute shift to just one, so it was super aggressive. But I like this liquidity. They got swept right here, came back down into it. Just played those. Honestly, right now, if you want to just scalp, one thing I've been realizing is instead of playing like 1 minute changes character and swing structure, which okay, if I'm looking to swing something, I want to have like, be in like a 4-hour POI, 15-minute double break of structure, 1 minute double break of structure, play the flip zone. But if I'm looking to scalp something, especially at these counter trend moves, if you wait for that, oftentimes you're not gonna get those. You're not gonna really be able to hold them like you want. So I just like playing the 1 minute internal structure changes. So I was like right here, and I won't really usually play like just it's like we got two. I want to wait until everything gets mitigated. You know what I mean? Like say if this didn't happen, I wouldn't have even touched it. But I like once we start to see this push like that.
Bitcoin looks ready to grab some fucking 27.9 liquidity.
I want Ethereum.
Oh, she looks so geared up for 27.9.
What's
Peak
BNX?
was so
Somebody asked me
close,
to look
man.
at BNX. I've never even heard of this. It's only been out for.
That was, I think.
Oh, that's a bull flag right there.
I drew a cup and handle.
Straight upward.
So I mean, I guess you'd say if you want to, if you must, your daily
Keep
range.
the USDT chart, I think.
Oh yeah, I'm such a perp demon.
No, I feel you.
Okay, bet.
Oh boy. That's a big old cup and handle.
Long stop loss 30% below.
Fat loss.
Hey,
Full port
I
longs
will
right
say I
now.
won't hate on motherfuckers. I guarantee if they took something here, I mean, fuck it if it works. But
Bro, Moon, look, it
what's
bounced right
funny
off
is
my
like, look
trend
at
line,
this too.
man.
Look at
Look
that.
at it, bro.
Oh shit. No, but yeah, I mean, daily. I mean, I guess theoretically, you could say, and really here when you got that closure, I guess depending on how you map swing structure, or even if you wait till all the way up here, this is probably more likely. And then you got that. I mean, you can't really say it's liquidity. This is where like the shit coins get weird because like, I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't know. Depending on how you trade, you might say that's your flip zone, but I wouldn't have touched it. I mean, whoever did ate off of it, but this isn't healthy. You have so much down here.
You
But
actually got a formed breaker.
you said it formed a breaker.
Yeah, you got a
Over
daily
here.
breaker. Nah. But where you drew your line from, I could see where it touches. Nah. Where you drew that line to your left. Yeah, right there, bro. That's a
Yeah.
breaker. You can see where we just tapped it on the 16th, 17th.
Yeah.
We flipped that supply into demand, it looks like.
Yeah. See, I mean, usually, like, one thing I've noticed too is 90% of the time, like the breaker block, you will almost always be able to find it as just that second break of structure flip zone. Because you could draw it like like I used to just draw it like this, you know, but I've found that with crypto, at least most alts, like I like doing it more like this because first of all, oftentimes they're the same because especially if you draw this like fractal, because you could draw just the order block because that's how that's originally taught, but oftentimes you can draw like you can see that it didn't even react to this down here. It reacted up to this, which where the actual supply was within the wicks, like on the lower time frames. But came up in there. I mean, if anything, this would look bullish to me. But you know, I'd be. I mean, you really got your pullback. I guess that was your pullback. Filled that gap. Everything except this right here. You could look for these to get targeted. 144. I wouldn't. You know, I wouldn't really be probably hitting it here, but let's see. Damn, what the fuck is this coin?
Hey, I've been hearing hella people talking about this in the chat.
Really? I still haven't seen
Yeah,
any of it.
nice.
Just not healthy though. Like I wouldn't. I mean, like I guess there were entries here depending on how you took it, like high time frame risk entries. But like here, you know, you like really never came back down to where I would have much interest in it. Honestly, it'd probably be either this wick or this whole zone right here, somewhere in there. You could look
Can
at
you
that
look at
candle as well.
XMR?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I'll go back. That's what I started with. I like. Oh, actually, it did come back down into it here, didn't it? I wasn't looking far enough.
I actually have an entry in that position right now, so I was just
Hot
curious
AF.
what
Ooh.
This shit actually is not that terrible. Like,
That's a sexy retap right there.
you know what I'm
baby.
saying, bro? That's like what you want. What the fuck is this coin that's just like over here, just given this price action? I've never even
Came
heard of
back
it.
with that sexy 3-tap in that demand zone.
Look at that fair value gap there. I mean,
that.
I mean,
That's a-
honestly, this is not like this is like. I'll actually set
it the
alerts
same-
for this.
If it 3 taps the zone, that's just more confirmation, right? Or no?
I mean, not necessarily.
Yeah, the rect proof
yeah.
3-tap.
Like you can get that can go like for instance, if you see like a triple bottom or something, like don't look at that the same way. But like if you see this like the structure where it starts to form this like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would be a schematic to accumulation.
Yeah.
I saw it as reaccumulation after we took out the lows.
Suck my dick, loser. That's schematic to accumulation.
This dude talking about schematic 2 patterns and shit, bro. You a pattern trader?
Yeah, I'm a pattern
You a
trader.
pattern trader?
Yeah, I'm a
That's
Wyckoff
tough.
trader.
That's tough. Just throw pictures on the chart and long.
Here what I'd look for to like signs of a pullback, like you could look for like this internal structure to break here. Actually, I guess technically now they're equal, it looks like. Then, you know, depending on how you, this is pretty wiki. You know, you could probably find some kind of supply either in this candle or in these wicks. I mean, again, it's pretty choppy, but see if I can I'm just curious. So,
Oh,
I mean,
you're looking for 1300 to get tapped, my boy? Flow?
yeah, that's what he was saying earlier.
1377. Yeah,
You're
after
looking for the 13 hundos?
if we get there, I'm saying that's a POI if we get there.
Bro, I would
Let me go to
honestly,
the
It's
ETH
all gonna
chart
be
real quick.
market structure, bro. But I'm looking at 1679.
I'm gonna
Let me
wait
look
till
at the
price
ETH
comes
chart real
here,
quick.
and I'm gonna literally, if we come down here and I get a 1 minute internal, I'll probably scalp and then I'll take profits quick. But
Ooh.
I'll wait for like a 1 minute break. I would long this, bro.
ETH looking ugly AF.
Yeah.
I kind of like that BNX chart. I'm
I
not
do
gonna lie.
too, bro. It's like, what the fuck is this? I was expecting
Dude,
like
look
something
at-
terrible.
Look at the daily, like
Yeah.
just recent swing structure.
Like, look at
like
that.
that.
It's nice and clean. Like it's healthy.
Yeah,
Like I see
Yeah, I
this
like
get
your zone.
taken.
that's kind of fire. I mean, it'd be a low risk anyways. You know, if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's whatever.
Exactly. I'm actually gonna add this to my.
Look at Algo lurking in here on his phone. Muted.
I'm on my iPad watching Obi-Wan.
Iron Mike.
Yes, sir.
Shut up, Algo.
What's up?
Composite operator.
JL,
What
the
did
composite
XRP?
number.
I told people to watch XRP earlier. Oh, I did react nicely to this zone.
Flo and I have had amazing luck with XRP.
Yeah, XRP is
XPR.
clean, bro. But it's probably gonna dump here.
That is a coin I will never forget.
XPR.
Oh yeah, XMR for Fuji. I'm actually gonna
XPR.
add
XPR, bro.
this. XPR.
Wait, is XRP not the Bitcoin one? Ripple, right?
Yeah, they're Ripple.
What
Yes.
is Ripple?
Oh yeah,
my
Monero. We
Ripple
went
chart?
so with Monero on the weekly, you really, I mean, you're in a huge fucking range that you could have just, yeah, you could have said it's a break of structure. I'm not gonna look for wicks on a weekly fucking chart to confirm that, but you came back down in, satisfied this demand, found this inside bar. You haven't really got a weekly change of character, so at that point you go to the daily. Here, you could look at this. You could say one change of character, and then I mean it's just internal. It's in the daily. So we go to the 4 hour to get a cleaner look. When I look at the 4 hour, I mean you could look at it depending on how you chart. I mean you could look at this as your swing high and low, but I mean if you look at the way this price actions moves, it's pretty tight. Like it almost reminds me of some forex charts. So you don't have to have these enormous retracements. And you can see that we came back here. A lot of supply was introduced to the market here. So especially, if you look here, the inside bar again, we look what flipped this zone, right? It was this zone right here, that 4 hour flip zone. So we are super high up in premium though of this price swing. You could draw it internal, whatever, different time frames. But regardless, I mean, it's not the best area for for swing longs. But I could see an opportunity here. I think we on the 15-minute came back down to that 15 or that 4 hour. Saw a nice push up. I mean, you can't really say we even had an internal change of character here because this would have been your high up here. Because each candle, if you notice, broke the prior candle's low. Then here was your low. We kind of came up, but we didn't really do much except could be just mitigating supply found of this in this inside bar. But we did leave equal highs. So how I would handle this, we left to have this liquidity down here in this fair value gap. What I would do here, you can look at the 1 minute. This is more for like scalping. But I wouldn't just set limits just because you are just on the 1 minute and the 15-minute has not switched yet. You come back down, see these mitigations, and then at this zone you have this demand. And again, it's on the 1 minute. You have this chain or this fair value gap. You also have stops under this low. So the way I would attack it is just wait till you come under, or not under, but into this zone, and then get this kind of structure. And then be very, very aggressive with your targets. But I will say XMR has been moving nice and strong lately. When we do, whether it's scam pumps or not, you just got to target internal liquidity along the way. Fair value gaps, found on a 15-minute. Don't get greedy, but I can see it. Like for instance here, you might have a target there if we just continuously push down from here. And then whatever internal highs in the 1 minute you had. But a lot of times of these, the objective, the objective is to really get a tight entry where you can have, these very, very tight stop loss, like, 20, 50 pip stop losses, and then you can just be in and out of the move. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about risk to reward. Like percent really doesn't mean anything as far as percentage of your P&L, in my opinion. Like, for instance, like looking in hindsight, I can't tell you I would have done this, but let's just say you'd taken this, stops under the most recent internal low, give yourself 5 pips. So I do with crypto. You'd have literally just been able to target this high. And that right there is 9% of your portfolio in about, 10 minutes or less, whatever. Because that's what I would try to play, just very aggressive in and out because you are coming back to these zones. But definitely get that double confirmation about the internal change of character. Well, on that note, I'm gonna hop off here. Usually I would stay on longer, but my girl just got home and wait, what is this? Divine just texted me. Oh no, it's about this. But yeah, I'm gonna go kick it with my girl and my little one. So I appreciate you guys. If you're trading this weekend, best of luck. I would be eyeing some setups personally. I like this XMR, that BNX. Keep an eye on BNX. XRP, and then watch Tron, but more so for shorts. But I think it's going to take some time to develop there. Anyways, I appreciate you guys as always. If you got any questions, just at me in chat, DM me, tweet me, comment on YouTube, whatever. Until Monday, I'll see you guys later.
Thank you for the stream, brother.
Of course, man. I appreciate you too. I'll see you guys.